What's the outlook that you see, over the next few months specifically, especially as we're now starting to see crude prices inching up and back closer to $90+ a barrel at this point in time? What could the impact be potentially for you?
Well, fuel is a huge cost for any airline, and like any business, as your input costs change, the price that you charge, you try and make follow, so you maintain your margins. The short-term volatility of fuel prices is nothing new to us in the aviation industry, and so we'll recalibrate our practices to recover what we can. But long-term, we're actually turning around a business. The investments that we're making are with a view to improve efficiency, lower our unit costs so we can be more competitive and profitable whilst being more competitive. On the other side, a lot of our investments are about being able to attract more revenue, whether it's more people, whether it's different market segments of people, opening up new geographies, being more effective with the way that we revenue manage, more effective with the way we distribute. So lowering costs, getting better qualities of revenue, absolutely everything that we're focused on, obviously, and then making sure that we're delivering a good product. And that, of course, also is focused on delivering good revenues, because if people think that we offer a great product, reliable, people are prepared to pay for that product, they're prepared to pay for the convenience of flying non-stop to the cities they want to go to, then that has a beneficial cycle. So the investments are for a purpose, and the purpose is ultimately to be commercially successful.
Speaking about commercial success, and you talked about how you are working on efficiency as well as cost optimization, and of course enhancing revenue as well. On the cost side, both in terms of efficiency as well as getting rid of costs that didn't make any sense, how much work do you believe you've been able to do? What's the distance that you need to cover on that front specifically? And on revenue optimization, because you're now probably going to do a lot more international with the new fleet coming in, etc. Does that then give you access to higher margin revenue as well?
Yes, so there's been a huge focus on recontracting a lot of the business, whether it is aircraft, power by the hour, engine support, components, insurance, fuel. Every significant contract in the business has been essentially renegotiated, and nearly every case with quite some considerable benefit.
Have you been driving a hard bargain?
I have people in my team who are famous now for driving hard bargains, and so they've done a great job.
Is the path to profitability looking more certain today?
In my view, there was never a doubt of Air India's future success and viability. Just looking at the structure of the Indian market, looking at the volume of people that we have travelling, looking at the growth of people, looking at the diaspora, the attractiveness of India as a destination point, as a production market, as a place to transit through eventually. There was, to me, no doubt that success will come. The question was really when, and the investments and effort that was required to realise it. So I'm no less confident now than I was before, and before I was very confident.
So if I were to ask you to lay out for me goals that you have in terms of market share, for instance, a combined market share of a little over 26% today, given the competitive environment, the fact that you've actually now seen more airlines exit the Indian aviation market than when you actually took over Air India. What can we expect in terms of market share? What are the other milestones that you hope to clock, perhaps by the end of the calendar year or the fiscal year?
Well, market share is not the objective. It is running a good business that is serving customer needs. That's the objective. We've said that the milestones we wanted to achieve was 30% domestic market share, 30% international market share, and we're on track for that. At the time, we said it would be a combination of organic growth as well as inorganic, and you've seen the coming together of different airlines in part of that mission. Look, if we are successful as a business, we'll be able to induct more aircraft. If we induct more aircraft and we can do that faster than others, then our market share will go up. But it's not a case of throwing aircraft into the market just for the sake of market share. that's not the path to success.
Mm-hmm. What do you make of what's happening around you today? Go Air, no clarity yet on what's going to happen as far as resumption of services is concerned. Akasa is rationalizing routes today because they're facing a pilot shortage as well. So it's largely, SpiceJet has its own set of troubles and challenges. So it's largely between Indigo and you.
Well, I won't speak about any other airlines, but I think I've said elsewhere that India has had, let's say, volatile aviation landscape for some years. It had an erstwhile Air India that had many ways of operating and perhaps wasn't as commercially focused as a private airline would have been. And then you had a number of other airlines that were promoter focused and maybe more focused on cash flow. And so that's why you saw frequent entrants and exits and just a volatile environment. I think now with a couple of well-financed, professionally oriented, profit motive-driven airlines that are prepared to invest in significant fleet orders. The number 1 and number 2 largest fleet orders are from Indian Airlines now. That we're going to get a more healthy, more stable aviation environment, creation of a profit pool that then encourages other well-run, well-financed airlines to join, and builds a strong platform from which Indian aviation can grow. Because if we don't have a strong domestic platform, we can't get the investment and the interest in our business in order to spread Indian airline wings abroad.
What we have seen, especially in the past year, are incidents that have sort of made headlines for all the wrong reasons, and Air India has been involved in many of those. Without getting into the details, I think everyone's very familiar with what happened through P-Gate. What has been the big lesson, the learnings from incidents like that, and how have you incorporated that now as part of the work culture, as part of the consequence management, as you point out?
Yeah. I think a lot of it is about training. What do we equip people with when they face a certain situation? How do they respond to it? If a situation happens, who do they tell? How rapidly do they tell? When someone is told, what do they then do with the information? How openly do they share it? How do we treat the information as something from which to learn and promulgate so that the matter isn't repeated or is dealt with effectively? What systems and controls and behaviours need to be put in place such that we deal with it better next time? So a lot of that's about culture, training, systems, consequence management. As I say, this is multifaceted across all parts of the business, and it's trying to turn fairly deep-seated practices and mindsets around.
Thank you very much for joining us to explain to us what the rebirth of Air India could potentially look like and where you are in that process. Appreciate your time, and we wish you the very best of luck.
My pleasure. Thanks, Shireen.
Well, with that, it is time for us to wrap up this CNBC TV 18 special conversation from all of us here on the team. For now, goodbye and many thanks for watching.